Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 3rd of April for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give you some standout details that we can all collectively relate to, but please stay with me. I will then dive deep into each of the 12 zodiac signs from Aries through to Pisces. If you're a returning visitor, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new here, it's great to have you with us, and I'd be honoured if you'd subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. This is very much a community, so please share any thoughts you have. I do interact with each one. So as we come into this new week, Mercury, the planet of communication, which rules the sign of Gemini, but also the sign of Virgo, where its influence is much more to do with precision. Its move into Taurus is asking us to grapple with the foundations in our lives, especially the ones to do with everyday finance, I feel. But the second house energy of Taurus is also about how we feel about ourselves, our self-worth and our values. But it's clashing with the mighty but tiny Pluto almost straight away. So Monday through to Wednesday could see some tensions around a group situation or around a closer relationship where our values may not align quite as closely with somebody else, perhaps as much as we thought they had done, or any differences that have been there can come to the surface, can be revealed. Pluto often keeps things out of sight, so there could be some revelations in this early part of the week. But there's also, from Tuesday to Saturday, Mercury actually forges a very constructive link to Saturn. So if we can tap in to past experiences, knowledge and instincts, our instincts, in a positive way, that can help us to make the most of our resources. Also, Saturn is linking brilliantly this week to Mars, with both Mars in Cancer and Saturn in Pisces, two water signs. I think the provocative energy of Mars, it's not at its best in Cancer, of course, it's in a full. I think that's saying, look, it's okay to grapple with emotions and perhaps even be a little bit more vulnerable. So we could see some people opening up about their core values or opening up about their feelings. Also, from Wednesday to Sunday, a glorious link between Venus and Neptune is really quite idealistic. So if there's someone coming through in our situation who we really do admire and has the kind of qualities that we can really respect, this could be something that gives us a lot of uplift. The key to that particular aspect is not to have unrealistic expectations. But of course, relationships really come sharply into focus on the back of the full moon. For most people, this is going to occur on Thursday. For those people who live on the west coast of America, it is on Wednesday. But Chiron, the wounded healer, is very close to the Sun, as is Jupiter. And I feel that there is an opportunity here for all of us to think again about the connections we have, to not necessarily just view things in binary terms of they're with us, they're not with us. Life has become so polarized. If you can see the nuances in situations and the experience of our journey through this existence that are really quite mutual, that's going to be something we can gain from this. But with Uranus forging a quincunx to the moon position, it could be that in some situations, differences over money or how it's spent, or those values could be the part of the relationship which really does need some attention. Now, as this week draws to a close, Venus is forging a wonderful angle to Pluto. This really can help us to appreciate the very special alliances we have in our lives. And also a little bit of fortune is starting to bubble up, potentially, as the week draws to a close, as the Sun is approaching Jupiter in Aries. They're actually going to meet up in person, so to speak, next Tuesday. that will be when the aspect becomes exact. But this is one of the most fortifying of all planetary aspects in astrology. So if energy has been a little bit low, physical vitality, there's a lot of things that we're absorbing these days that can make us feel a little bit depleted. So I feel that there's an opportunity to feel a sense of uplift. But overall, this is a week which is asking us to engage with feelings and also the reality of our everyday resources and our need for security, and just feed that into how we're thinking about our need to get our own way, very Aries energy, against how we need to collaborate and connect to others, that Libran full moon. Please stay with me now as I dive deep with each of the 12 signs. But if you would like to ascend above this zodiac forecast, if you give me 3 pieces of personal birth data of time, date and place of birth, I can prepare for you your life roadmap report. This can help you to get a much more intimate understanding of the patterns that have played out in your existence so far. And also my special package of 30% off, you can order your 12-month personal forecast. Totally unique to you, just like your life roadmap report. And this can give searing insights of how to make the most of the upcoming months. If you don't know your time of birth, I have developed a new solar chart and forecast package which also has 30% off. Please see the link below for more information on both. So Aquarius, your week commencing the 3rd of April forecast sees a lot of activity in houses 2, 3 and 4. Let's start off with house 3, where of course you have the Sun and also the wonderful energies of Jupiter. They're going to be coming up into a lovely conjunction on the 11th of April, an exact conjunction. This is where they're side by side. And this is one of the most energy increasing influences in astrology, but also because the 3rd house very much about the exchange of ideas quickly, our immediate daily environment, our connection with our neighborhood, siblings, technology, social media. All these areas can be where you can really shine. But of course, we have a full moon in the opposite house, house 9. But I feel that with Chiron and Jupiter in the mix, if there's been a sense for you that however much you express your ideas, they haven't always been heard, I actually feel this full moon could see some kind of breakthrough where your message finally reaches its or achieves its mark, which can be very gratifying. Ironically, the planet of communication, Mercury, moves on Monday into a more muted area and actually clashes straight away with Pluto newly arrived in your sign. If there is a situation around your family life where there are some politics, some frustration could show itself. But Mercury then goes on to forge a very constructive link to Saturn, your traditional ruler. If you can break your thinking down into bite-sized segments and express the things that are really important to you in as calm a way as possible, I feel that Mercury can actually still come back to you in a very constructive way. Now, in terms of what may change around where you live, if you are wanting to beautify your home, whether it's through decoration and new furnishings, or perhaps your outdoor space, this week can be very productive too, especially with Venus and Neptune in such a lovely link. If you've often thought about the ideal home you'd like to get, I think the reality of that could be something you really put a lot of effort into creating or reaching towards as this week goes on. But the full moon could reveal some differences of opinions, but I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. One of your great gifts is your detachment, because you recognize that maybe people will see things differently to you, and you see that as fair enough. What perhaps can cause a little bit of tension is that Uranus in your 4th house could see you react to a situation simply because someone is being a bit overbearing or dogmatic, and you could resist that. But I think that charm and persuasion will be your best assets this week, particularly as the week draws to a close. And next week is going to see the Sun's combination with Jupiter reach its high point, but also Venus move into a wonderful location for you. So I think there is some emotional prep going on at the moment, an exchange of ideas, but I think the big breakthrough could come in the week following this one.